Hello friends, today we will deploy WordPress MySQL site on with persistent volume storage on Kubernetes. So let's start. This is a default folder where all my WordPress and files are saved. So let's open wp.deploy. Here's the code. Let's little bit zoom in. So this is the service which is used to connect the WordPress container to outside world. Service version is v1. This service came with a version 1 of Kubernetes. Kind service. Service for connectivity. Metadata is used to define the name of the service, like WordPress. Internally, we can give service name like app WordPress. This is a variable used to select the service. Like other services can select the service by using this label. Spec, internal details about the service. Selector, app WordPress. This service will track the ports which are having the variable as app WordPress. Port 80. Internally, what it will connect to the port 80 of the WordPress container, and Minikube VM will be exposed to the port 30,000. Type load balancer. Load balancer gives the connectivity to the outside world and also along with load balancing the load between the multiple containers. Like first we visit the container number 1. When another user comes, then he will visit the container number 2. Okay. This is the code for persistent volume claim. Version v1. This service came with a version v1. Metadata, name, WP PVC labels app WordPress. I have given mostly app WordPress means here. App WordPress. This will go and find the another service, find the pod with label as app WordPress and deploy to it and connect with it. So spec SS modes read write once means we have given the permission to read and write once means one user. Resources request storage we are claiming 2 GB. We are requesting for 2 GB of the storage from PV. This is a PVC. PVC requests the storage from PV. PV is persistent volume and persistent volume requests the storage from storage class, and further storage class requests the storage from device like HDD hard disk drive or micro SD drive or cloud storage. So this is it. And now comes deployment. Deployment is a smart service of the Kubernetes which tracks the pods and relaunch them if they get terminated. The deployment service came with the app slash backward slash version v1. This is the service name version name from which deployment service come. Kind deployment D is capital here. Metadata name WordPress labels app WordPress. Note I have given the same name to every label so that internal connectivity can be easily done, so that WordPress can easily connect to its internal components. Like selector also selector. Replicas is one and selector. Selector match expression here. This is the format in which selectors are written in deployment and replica sites. Key app operator in values WordPress means the variable name is app, the function used is in, and the value is WordPress means app colon WordPress. Strategy type recreate. It will recreate the pod when it got terminated. Template means details about the pod. Pod metadata is pod name is WP pod 1. Labels environment testing app WordPress region India. Specs about the pod. As we know, pods contain a container inside them. So here we have described the details about the containers. Name WP con1, name of the container. Image, we have used image WordPress 5.5 Apache, and WordPress image internally uses some variables so that it can connect to the MySQL pod. So this is the variable name WB WordPress DB host, and the value is the word SQL DB. Another variable is WordPress DB password. We have password is a secret value, so we do not do not write the password directly on the text file. Instead, we write the password in a secret file in a base64 encoding format. Base64 format. Volume mounts. We have mounted the persistent volume at this location, word www html, so that when the pod got terminated, our data will not be lost. This is the format in which we mount the volume. This is the port. We are exposing port 80 of our container to the service. Service will connect to the port 80 of the WordPress container. And this is the volume claiming 2 GB of storage from this volume, WP-PVC1. WP-PVC1 is here. WP-PVC1. It is giving 2 GB to the deployment. So now let's move on to the MySQL code. So version v1 kind service metadata name. The word MySQL DB. We have given a service name word MySQL word SQL DB. Labels app MySQL. Spec cluster IP none. This is useful. We have to write cluster IP colon none, so that it MySQL pod only communicates with internal Docker containers. We write cluster IP none so that MySQL container can easily communicate with other Docker containers which are present on the system. Public access to the MySQL container is banned or denied. Here we are exposing port number 3306 of the MySQL container, and the service will automatically find the container labeled as app MySQL, and it will find them and connect to them. And these three dots are compulsory so that Kubernetes can easily differentiate that one service code has ended and another service code has started. So this is the differentiate between the service codes, between code of every service. This is the code for persistent volume claim. This is the name of persistent volume claim service which we have given manually. Labels app MySQL. Only connect to the pods labeled as MySQL, which are having this key and this value. Specs about the persistent volume claim. We have given the permission of read and write once. Once is important here, and claiming the 2 GB of storage. Okay. Deployment part. In deployment, we can easily update our pods. Like when currently we are working on version 1 of our WordPress. Now version 2 of WordPress has been released, so we can easily upgrade our website, upgrade our images, WordPress images, by a click of a button. That's why we use deployment with zero downtime. Name is the word MySQL DB. This name is important and should be same as equal to the name of the service. Like at top we have used the service name as word MySQL DB. So this name is same as deployment name. It is useful for internal connectivity of the WordPress container with the MySQL container. Labels app MySQL. Spec about the deployment. Replicas 1. We have given only, at present we want only one replicas of the MySQL container. Selector match expressions. Find key value operator in values testing. Means environment is the key and its values testing. Thus method which we use is in. Environment in testing means the value of environment, where value of environment is testing. Find only connect to those pods only. Like here, app in values, app in MySQL. Only connect to the pods which are having the key as app and value as SQL. App in MySQL. Strategy type recreate means it will relaunch or recreate the pods once it has been terminated. Okay. Template means details about the pod. Here pod name is MySQL pod 1. Labels are testing, environment testing, app MySQL region India. This is the important variable by which we have defined other services. Spec means detail about the containers. Container details. Name MySQL con1 container 1. Image MySQL 5.7. As we know, MySQL image requires some variables so that we can launch the container. So these are the variables. MySQL root password. This is the inbuilt variable which we have to give to the MySQL so that MySQL container can launch and run properly. So it is a password, so we cannot write password in a text file simply. So we use a secret. Secret is another concept of Kubernetes by which we store our password in a separate file, and giving that reference of separate file here, like the name of my secret service is MySQL secret, and from there is a key called rpass. This rpass key stores the password value. This so password is retrieved from service MySQL secret, and their rpass contains my password in base 64 format. Okay. MySQL database is another variable. We have given its value here, my LWDB. Name MySQL user. Another variable given value. Okay. And another variable is MySQL password. Volume mounts. We have volume mounts. We have given 2 GB of the PVC to this MySQL container at this location. Word live MySQL. This is the location where MySQL database are stored. Okay. Ports. We have exposed port 3306 of the MySQL container. One thing to note here is that this is the WordPress file and this is the MySQL file. This is the WordPress file. So here, word MySQL DB should be equal, same as pod name of MySQL, deployment name of MySQL. Here, this is the same. This both should be same, and here. Okay, so these three variables should always be equal to same so that WordPress and MySQL can connect to each other. This is the secret file, version v1, API version v1, kind secret. Okay, metadata, name of the secret file, like MySQL secret. This name we have used to give a reference. Data it stores. Username upass arpa, username of the MySQL user. Okay, username password and root password. I have given the same password, so I have given the password this. Here we password is this. First we have to encode in base 64 format from online editors. We can do that online by writing base 64 encoder. Write our password here or username here, Hitesh, and convert encode. So this is the value in base 64. So this is the value in base 64 and we paste it here in secret file here, like AGLOZXNO. Okay. MySQL done, secret done, WP deploy done. Then there is customization file. The version of customization file is this: Kubernetes customize.config.kubernetes.io/v1 beta1. Okay, we can easily get this number from internet. If we don't know, kind customization is useful when you have to run multiple files. So customization run all the files in one click by writing their name here. These files path should be correct. Okay, now let's run. Here I have already started the minikube Kubernetes cluster. We are using the Kubernetes version 1.19. Minikube is a software which automatically builds Kubernetes cluster very easily. Okay, we are running Minikube on our virtual box here. Okay, our Minikube is started and Docker version is 19.03. Okay, kubectl is a command which connect our Windows 10. We can control our Kubernetes cluster from a remote host by kubectl. Okay, all the configuration is done by Minikube itself. So let's check if we have we so let's check if we have already any if we are having any services running. kubectl get all. We have no services running at present. Let's check PVC. kubectl get PVC. No PVC or is running. So let's deploy our services. kubectl create k for customization dot means present directly. All the files in the present directory or the all it will run the Kubernetes customization file from this directory, and all the files name stored in this text file will be run. So we have deployed secret services, deployed WordPress MySQL services, WordPress SQL, all the services has been deployed. So what is the IP address and port number to access our services? kubectl get all. So this is our IP port number of the services WordPress container. This is the port number which WordPress deployment has been exposed to, 30,000. And what is the IP? Minikube IP. Now 192.168.99.101. This is our IP. Let's copy it. Okay. One 192.168.99.101 colon 30,001 3000. See, our WordPress services is running properly. This screen appears. This should not appear. I don't know why this screen is appearing. Okay, let's debug. Why WP backup? Okay, this is a wrong folder. Let's go back one folder, and our code is stored here in cube code. Here. So we will delete this setup and run our command from this location. Okay, cube code. Earlier our location was wrong. Okay, so let's begin. kubectl delete all means all services. Okay, so all our services are being deleted, like pod, service, deployment, replica set, and wait, let it complete. Okay, so now kubectl delete pvc -all. it will delete all PVC. We have to delete manually, separately delete PVC and separately delete secret. SECRET. These three services we have to delete manually. Okay. So now let's create our infrastructure again. kubectl create -k dot means in present directory. Dot is important here. Source, services, pod, secret, deployment all created. Here deployment create the replica set, and replica set create the pod, and inside pod we have a container running. Okay. kubectl get all. This is our port number and our IP is minikube IP. Wait. Okay, 192.168.99.101. colon 30,000. 30,000 is manually given by me, so it will always work on this port number only. So this page appears English. Let's select English, and it does not ask for password, username, and database name. It directly logins to a WordPress server. Okay. Here it is asking for database name, username, password, database host. Okay. So we don't want this setup. We want directly it should log in dynamically and ask us site title, username, this password. It means we have logged in dynamically using our variables in WordPress server, and WordPress and MySQL databases containers are connected. Okay. How database my WordPress and MySQL containers are connected, let me show you. We have used these variables. WordPress deploy YML full screen, control plus, right here using WordPress database host. WordPress database host is WordSQL DB. This is the database name. This name is same as MySQL service name and MySQL deployment name. Okay. And WordPress database password. We are retrieving password from a secret file with password name as given at rpass. Rpass means root password. Okay. MySQL root password. This is MySQL root password, which is Red Hat. And let me show you MySQL container also. Page down. MySQL password. We are directly given username and password from a secret file, so it is not asking us username and password. It is dynamically logged. Okay. So let's site title is Hitesh. Username is, let's say, Hitesh. Password, let us give Hitesh. Red Hat. Confirm use of weak password. Your mail h@k.com. I don't have to give real email at it because it is a sample project. Save. Login. Remember me. So now we have logged into our WordPress server, and this is the login. Customize your site. Let's make a publish a blog. Write your first blog. Next. Okay. Add title maybe welcome. Start writing hello world. Okay, let's publish it. So we have not published yet, so we are currently writing the blog, and suddenly the pod got terminated. The pod name is our WordPress service deployment pod here. This is our pod name, so let's terminate this pod manually from command line. kubectl delete Port, copy this again, Control V. Let's delete it. So now Kubernetes is very intelligent that it relaunches the same pod again, same pod with different name, a pod with same configurations as previous one. kubectl get all. See, a new pod launched with different name. This name is different. This is the ID. Okay, running age 17 seconds means instantly a new pod gets launched when we terminate the old one. Now let's refresh the site. We have currently in between the editing. We have not published yet. This page, leave page, stay on page, leave page. See, our previous data is not lost. It is here. Now let's publish it. Publish for visibility public. Okay. Copy link, copied, and now welcome your live update. Save to draft preview. I believe the our blog is published. Reload. Preview visibility public. Stick to the top of the blog update. Okay, our blog is published. Let's go back. See, welcome, hello world. Just another WordPress site. This is a sample blog. We have published. It is showing on the home screen. This is our blog site. Okay. So now we have published the blog. Now let's terminate the pod again. This pod, let's terminate it again. Our data will not be lost because we have used the persistent volume. Our pod deleted. We have used persistent volume, so our data will not be lost. WordPress will launch a new pod again, and let's reload the website. See, same website without any interruption, delays. It reloaded again. WordPress again working. Okay. kubectl get all. See, age 27 seconds and no disruption in the kubectl side. Front end never knows what is happening in the back end with zero downtime. Okay. Now there were some errors or some errors I faced while making this project, like MySQL secret WP deploy full screen. Like I was not knowing the variables. Like in here, I was not knowing the variables which I used to connect WordPress to MySQL database. So use these variables. These variables are very important. And value of the variable should always be same with the MySQL deployment name and MySQL service name. So this code is also available on the Kubernetes official website. How to deploy WordPress with MySQL with Kubernetes using persistent volumes. This code is also available here. I took some help from this code also, like how to connect WordPress container to MySQL. This is using 4.8 Apache version, but I am using 5.5 Apache version WordPress 5.5 Apache. So that's it. Thank you all. Okay.